All right, it's Friday. We're live.
I'm trying to do it with glasses on. I thought it would help me not make a mistake. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. Hello. We're going to get through this.
Sooner or later.
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to have it down to a science. By that time, you guys will be so tired of us, but we will have it down to a science.
Or a kid will come home from Japan and we'll have her do it.
That's what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping. Come see us in April.
Or our own stage manager.
Yes. Come see us in April. All right. We're here with latest cruise news. All kinds of
travel news.
Travel news.
It's not just
We've got
cruise.
mostly cruise news today, though I'm not going to lie, it's mostly cruise news. Although Disney released a little bit of a discount, so if you've got a Disney World vacation coming up, you might want to look end of the year into January. A little bit of a discount, not a huge thing, but you know, if you're planning a vacation, every little bit helps. You know, $40, $50, that could buy you breakfast. It could buy you a salad at the new salad bar at the Grand Floridian. It's like
Salad for two and a drink.
$14 for like a create your own salad.
And it's actually like
best deal at Disney.
it's a good salad bar.
It's a good salad.
One could almost say it's a grand salad.
It's a grand. He's so good. It's a grand salad. All right, so let's.
What about candlelight?
Oh, I don't have any news for you for candlelight.
If you haven't seen the video, go watch the candlelight video that we did the other day. It explains everything you need to know about candlelight, from lighting it to blowing it out.
No, we're talking about Epcot's Festival of the Holidays, International Festival of the Holidays, the Candlelight Processional, the information about Candlelight Processional dining packages, and the narrators for this year should be out any minute. Like we're on the edge of our seat. I'm refreshing pages. I'm thinking in another week or two we will have the information that you need for Candlelight. So stay tuned. As soon as I have it, I will let you know. You know, I don't want to give you too much information too soon because I got to get in there and book my own. I don't want you to book it all up so that I can't get it. But I'll let you know.
But if you're going to go...
We're like this, you and I.
But if you're going, let's get the travel arrangements booked and all that locked in.
Get it done. Yes, get it done.
Because the candlelight you can be flexible with, but you got to be there and have a place to sleep. And
Yes. Yes, you
okay.
do. All right. So the first thing I want to tell you is we have learned in our own personal experience just in the last couple days how high the cruise demand is. Now, Carnival Corporation released some statistics that claimed they are 50% sold out of their cruises through 2025. And I was like, how is that even possible? And then we turned around and tried to book Princess Cruises for 2026.
So we can put some actual numbers to this. If you go back and watch, we were doing videos last summer and into the autumn talking about September in Alaska, last minute fall cruises, Leafer cruises from New York that go up to Canada.
They were pitching Alaska last year, August, September, for like $200.
Well, plus taxes, yeah,
$200. Like you could not get on an end of the season Alaska cruise this year if you were the captain's mother. It just was not happening.
Yeah, and the excursions are booked, and the people in Alaska have already started their progression out. So the cruise ships are coming in, and you know the towns are getting overwhelmed with these people. They're still coming.
We found out. We just were in Alaska last week, and we found out while we were there, asking for some of our favorite, you know, like our bus drivers, our tour guide people, you know, waiters and wait staff. A lot of the people that we knew in Alaska, they've already gone home. They're already back to their normal lower 48 lives. So the Alaska season wrapped up, but it wrapped up with a bang.
And we told this to a few people that we were sitting having dinner and drinks with, and it turned into the 5-6 people that they know or a relative that had gone up there.
Yeah,
all
we
of
were
which have
super
gone back.
surprised at how quickly people left. But that brings up one of our news stories, Ship Free Saturday. Did you know this was a thing? Juneau, Alaska has a proposition that people are currently voting for called Ship Free Saturday. And what they basically want is they want you tourists the hell out of their town on Saturdays so that they can appreciate the beauty of Juneau. Like
Chick-fil-A.
Those are the days.
That's why it's not Ship Free Saturday.
Those are the days that the people that work there may have off, and they want to take their kids to, you know, whatever it is in Juneau. They want to go. They want to go to the restaurants. They want to see the things. But with all the cruise ships in port, they just can't. It's causing so much congestion and so much of a strain on their infrastructure that the local people can't do their thing. So somebody came up with this idea, let's have a ship-free Saturday. Let's not have any large cruise ships in port in Juneau on Saturdays the entire Alaska season.
How's the early voting going?
It's not going well. It's not going well for ship-free Saturday.
Cast a ballot for less money?
Yeah, I mean, the business owners there want the tourists. They want the tourist dollars. The Alaska season, I don't know if people realize this, but think of how long your kids are out of school, right? That's the whole Alaska season. That's when these people are making their money. So if you imagine that the bulk of your income...
Wait. Funny that you say that. What profession did our bus driver have driving up into Canada?
A school teacher.
Yeah.
A school teacher. But if the bulk of your company's income or your business's income is made in like this little 12 or 15 week time frame,
yeah, you don't want to give up.
You want every single dime every single day. So this proposition on the ballot in Juneau is not going over well, which is kind of a shame for the locals that really wanted it, because we totally get it.
Yeah.
We totally get it. Okay, the other thing, Princess Cruises.
Excuse me, sorry.
Yes. I told you we don't know what we're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And he's blind, and we have him in the farther chair, which...
Yeah. You know, I've wondered that recently the other day. I was like, why do I sit in the far away chair?
Yeah, because he can't see what he's doing, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, I'm going to test it over here.
Anyhow, Princess Cruises. They have added, if you're trying to do a 2026, I know I said 2026, but if you're trying to do a
Test complete?
If you're trying to do a 2026 total eclipse cruise, they've just changed the itinerary of one of their ships so that they now have 2 ships doing it. Why are they doing that? Because the first one is starting to sell out. So if you want to do one of these eclipse cruises in 2026, stay on top of it. If you're monitoring prices or whatever, you need to stay on top of it. So basically, Princess, the Sun Princess, is now... Yeah, because we're just looking at the Sun Princess for ourselves. The
Sun
Sun
I meant
Princess,
sun in the eclipse.
Yeah, that too. The Sun Princess is going to be now positioned off the southeast coast of Spain, which will give, assuming the weather is good and everything aligns, it will give you the best view of the solar eclipse. So they've made some changes so that they can accommodate more people. It's going to be beautiful. Book one of those cruises. It's a wonderful thing.
All right, what's next on your list?
So I have this story, which is kind of near and dear to our local hearts. I don't know how near and dear it would be to everyone else, but there may finally be, and when I say finally, we're looking at decades that this has been up in the air, but there may finally be a disposition to the situation with the SS United States.
I mean, yeah, we're talking about a cruise ship that, you know, you can look at pictures of cruising from the 50s, 60s, and you'll see it in the background.
This is an absolutely beautiful ship. It has, since 1969, been out of service, and when I say out of service, I mean people, like, the ship was docked, people went out to go get drinks, to go get dinner, left all of their tools and equipment, came back, locked, closed, done. The ship was there, and it's been in Philadelphia all of these years, and it has had a lot of talks of bringing it back to life. They were going to make it, refurbish it as a sailing vessel, you know, like a cruise ship.
There was one talk of moving it up to Brooklyn, docking it, converting it into condos and offices.
Yeah.
Just for the unique look of the structure of the building that it would become.
Yeah, the ship was even for a while owned by Norwegian Cruise Line. They were going to refurbish it as one of like the classic American cruise liners, and they didn't have the money to do it. So the ship has been sitting in Philadelphia for all of these years. They finally had a situation where the conservancy that's been trying to save the ship just couldn't afford the port fees. The port fees are $1,700 a day. Now, this is a cruise ship that's not making any money. It's not sailing anywhere. So it has been hemorrhaging money for this conservancy, and they've been trying to do something with it. They finally got A town in Florida, Okaloosa, Florida, wanted to buy the ship, and they are going to use it as a reef.
If you've ever been out diving on a reef, it is amazing to see, how much wildlife just starts growing within a matter of minutes. It is just amazing. Most of the ships that I served on in the Navy are sunk too far out to anybody to dive them.
Yeah, it's a little sad though. I mean,
when it's close enough to dive.
If you're from the Philadelphia area, there's probably no way that you have missed this ship. It's right down there off of Christopher Columbus Boulevard. You know where the IKEA is. It's right across the street. It has been there forever. I have loved this ship forever. If you see now the contemporary Disney style, or if you're looking back generations, the Titanic style, that's what the ship looks like. You just know that it had the potential to be something amazing, but at a price that was just too expensive for anybody to tackle. So I'm glad at least it's not going to continue to sit there and decay. It will become something, but I wanted to throw that in the news today because near and dear to our hearts.
So one that's been discussed on a lot of the cruise groups, the public ones, the ones for groups that we have going, has been, I read there's a strike going on, will it affect my cruise? Which is always sort of, well, if you'd have read the second line, it says won't affect military vessels and cruise ships, but apparently a lot of people only read the headline.
Yeah,
so
there was a lot of concern. There was a lot of concern. The longshoremen strike, people were worried it was going to impact their vacations. If you read that, I'll talk to you like a puppet. It was going to impact people's vacations, but take it away.
So the strike has been postponed because negotiations are ongoing for the next 90 days. So good news not only for the cruise industry, but the entire economy. And if you want to know how well the economy's doing, separate from job reports and news and everything else, the cruise ships that we've been on that are full. So, we want this to keep rolling. We don't want to throw a pebble in the road of these things.
Yeah.
So, it's good news.
All right, our other big news story, since we previously mentioned Norwegian Cruise Line,
who's also now going to be sailing out of Philly, which we've discussed before.
Out of Philly. If you're familiar with Norwegian, if you've sailed Norwegian, you're probably familiar with their free at sea program, and that is when you can select a multitude of free amenities added to the price of your voyage, and it's been very, very popular. At times it's like pick one or pick two. At times it's pick four. They've been very popular. We'll just say that. No more. Done.
There are people that have looked at it and thought it was almost like an all-inclusive, because they see this menu of stuff and but when they get into the details, there's some picking and choosing. There's definitely some under the hood stuff that you had to do.
Yeah.
And now that's all gone.
Yeah.
We have a brand new system that's no way related to the old one.
If you're a hairdresser and you can tell me how to keep these little pieces of hair up in my hair clip, you won't have to watch me constantly try and stuff them up in there and pinch it closed.
If you're a hairdresser who'd like me to buy you a cup of coffee, type in where your hair down is.
Okay, so what are they doing now? So instead of free at sea, you're going to be getting more at sea. That's the name of the new program.
Completely different from the last one.
Completely different. It's not any different. It's a little different. So let's start comparing. So with free at sea, you got a basic drinks package for your entire cruise, which basically gave you drinks up to $15. It didn't include anything like specialty coffees or bottled water, packaged things, anything like that. But you got a basic beverage package. You also got, depending on your cabin category, free specialty dining. This was really hard to comprehend because if you were there on a 3 to 6 day cruise, but in this cabin category, you got one dinner. If you were there on a 7-night cruise, but you were in this category, you got 3 dinners, you got 2 dinners. If you were there for over 2, like the chart is this big.
This sort of grid savings is not new to you if you've ever cruised and done one of those bounce back offers, where we're going to give you up to $5,000, but it's if you book for a month in a grand suite, and if you book inside for a day, you get $1, and it's charted out. It's the same sort of concept.
It basically was the longer you cruise, the more specialty dining you get, and it was only for person 1 and 2 in your stateroom. So if you had kids with you, you have to pay out of pocket, whatever. The internet, again, this is something that varied. This is probably one of the worst internet packages at sea. I'm just going to put that out there, Norwegian. You could bump this up a little, but anyhow, the free at sea, it would get you 75 to 300 free minutes based on the length of your cruise. It was 150 for a 7-night.
You're someone who came from the era of pay by the minute for internet.
I'm so glad those days are gone.
I mean, what are you comparing it to that it's bad?
I'm comparing it to any other internet package that you would purchase is going to give you pretty much unlimited. So, they're not nickel and diming you for the minute. And 300 minutes, 150 minutes, it might sound like a lot, but so many people now are working on cruise ships.
Wait, is that per person per day, or is that for the entire cruise? Because that's something that's tripped people up with these packages.
That's for the first and second person in a stateroom for the length of your cruise. It was 150 minutes for a 7-night cruise.
I asked her that question because she has had to answer that for people who have said things like, hey, this thing that I get, is that 2 specialty dinners every day? It's like, no, it's the package.
Yeah. So anyhow, and the last thing was free excursions. With the free at sea, you got a $50 credit towards one excursion per port of call per stateroom. So this was not even $50 for everybody in your stateroom. This was $50 for your stateroom.
See, this is the one that, again, these things are all different flavors. One's the whole length of the cruise. One is limited by minutes. One is, per port.
So how does this compare? The new More at Sea. This is what More at Sea is giving you. So More at Sea, they're getting rid of the 2 beverage packages that currently exist on Norwegian. So your free one was the basic package, and then you could upgrade to the premium package. Both of those are now gone. There is only one beverage package, and it is an unlimited beverage package. It's going to include 45% more than the free at sea package with brands like Grey Goose, Casamigos, all of the brands that you know and love. There will now be more than 100 different specialty cocktails included, and there will not be, which is huge over the free at sea, there will not be a $15 limit on the cost of your drink. So live it up. Go order the frozen stuff. Go order the good stuff because you're worth it. And you know what? Down the line, you're paying for it somewhere anyway. So go enjoy. Oh, but it doesn't include specialty coffees or bottled water. Why not, Norwegian? For real.
The agony of that decision.
You have no idea how that kills me. All right, specialty dining. Here's how this is going to work now. Okay.
Before you even answer, can you tell us, though, what are the different tiers of dining? Or do you want to tell us after?
So, okay.
Is the buffet special?
The buffet is not a specialty dining. You're going to have your buffet, and I'm giving this very general. This is across, there are different categories on different cruise lines, like casual dining, whatever. So basically, you're going to have your buffet, your main dining room. Those are included. You're going to have some casual locations, like your pizza place, your ice cream parlor, your little sandwich shop, or whatever. Those are usually free. Tacos on Royal Caribbean. Those are usually free. And then you have specialty dining, which is like the highest level of dining on a cruise ship. It always costs you extra. You have to make a reservation to go there. Some of the more popular restaurants will completely sell out. You won't be able to reserve it unless you do it like the first day that you're able to book your onboard activities. So with the More at Sea, again, it's based on the length of your cruise. It's based on the cabin category. You'll basically get 1 to 3 specialty meals if you're in an inside stateroom, 1 to 5 if you're in a balcony stateroom. So your shorter cruises, that's when you're going to get 1 specialty meal. And that's 1 your whole cruise. Not 1 per day, not 1 per person.
Which works out because it's a shorter cruise.
It's 1, just 1. So the other difference with this free specialty dining, so with the free dining on the free at sea, pricing was kind of a la carte. So you were very limited to 1 appetizer, 1 entree, and 1 dessert. That's what your free at sea got you. With More at Sea, you can now order, because it's flat pricing for specialty dining now, you now can order up to 3 appetizers and up to 3 desserts. You can order more more entrees, but you have to pay extra for the entrees.
So this goes back to a certain mouse complainer who wanted unlimited lobster at 2 in the morning.
I mean, it's not that, but you might want soup to nuts when you go to dinner. You might want soup, a salad, the escargot, or you want an appetizer.
People don't order escargot?
No, not everybody does. But now you have the option to do it. You can order up to 3 appetizers, and you know how hard it is to choose a dessert. Who could choose just one dessert? You want multiple desserts, at least a bite of them. So now instead of everybody at your table having to order a separate dessert, you can order them. Order them for yourself. You can order up to 3 of them. And again, if you want a second or third entree, you can have them, but you are going to pay more for those. Now we're going to go to the internet because...
All right, hold on. So back to this. So when should you go to specialty dining?
What do you mean?
Well, okay, so you've just mentioned all these dining options. We just had this conversation. We were sitting on a ship in a specialty dining restaurant. And the question that I asked you was, okay, you're here. When should you come here on your next cruise? Should you make it a point to go to specialty dining every cruise? Should you go every night? Should you only go on your anniversary? Or your fake anniversary?
I don't think you should go specialty dining every night because here's the bottom line. Your meals are included in the price of your cruise. So the main dining room, that you've already paid for that. It's wrapped up in the ball that is your cruise.
There's a whole camp of people that swear by just that alone. They're like, hey, it's the same food in the same kitchen and I already paid for it.
Yeah. So I wouldn't go every night because you've paid for food in a dining room, and going to specialty dining, you're basically throwing that away. Not really, because the price at specialty dining is way less than what you would spend if you were at a restaurant. But I like to at least do one while I'm on a ship, especially if it's something that I haven't done before. I like to try a new restaurant. I like to go back to a restaurant that's a favorite. So it's really up to you when you go. If you only make it for a special occasion, some are almost one and done, like Le Petit Chef on Celebrity Cruise.
Well, there's 4 shows though.
There are different shows, but once you've seen the show, it's not that the food is bad. The food is excellent, but once you've seen the show, that's really the draw to that. And if you've seen the show, there's really not any reason to go back. So, I mean, specialty dining is really up to a person, but I like to do at least one specialty dining restaurant on every cruise.
Okay, so you can go without having to have a big birthday or a fake anniversary. You just go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but make your reservation. Find out what you got to do to go.
Yeah.
So for that level of light specialty dining, does this satisfy that? Does this get you there?
Yes, it definitely does. It definitely does. It will get you one free specialty dining.
Okay. So if you're a foodie that doesn't like the main dining room at all,
it will at least cover you for one. Can I just look at this? Because
yeah.
This is the chart that compares the two, and I just want to see with specialty dining.
You're gonna have to pause this and zoom in for that.
I mean, you're not going to be able to see. I have to put glasses on to see it, but specialty dining is applicable only for the first and second guests. So even with this new more at sea, you're not really getting more because they're not paying for your kids. You still got to pay for your kids. Internet. And I don't know why. I don't know why internet is still a thing. But internet now, there's not even an option for 300 minutes. So if you're on a 12...
I thought we just covered this one.
No, we're on more at sea.
Oh, we're covering more at sea.
We covered it on free at sea.
Oh, okay.
Free at sea, if you were on a 12-night or longer cruise, you got 300 minutes. Done. No more. You're only getting now 75 to 150 free minutes. The difference between more at sea and free at sea is this is good for up to 4 people in your stateroom. So if you're traveling with friends and there's more than just 2 adults and everybody has to check in with work, you can now do that without everybody buying an internet package. You're going to have to buy an internet package. If you're on a 7-night cruise, you're only getting 150 minutes. You're going to have to get an internet package, and they're going to sell it to you, which is why they're keeping this at 150 minutes. But it is supposed to be the faster Starlink connection. See if you can stretch those 150 minutes out. I don't know a lot of people that get a true vacation anymore. Everybody I know has to check in at work, that check their emails, even if they don't have to call in.
Some people have to, as soon as the ship undocks, call their grandchildren and chat with them before we even leave the harbor.
I do not know who that is, but yeah. So
here's the thing about
is
NCL,
this a better deal?
Well, NCL is the 4th largest cruise company in the world. They've got like almost 8, 9, 10% market share of all the cruise industry. They've got multiple brands besides NCL that fall under their umbrella. This is not a small company. This is a major company. They know
No,
what people
are
want.
diehard Norwegian Cruise Line fans. I think, though, that a lot of those people have not really looked at these free at sea packages before compared to other cruise lines because, I love a Norwegian Cruise Line. I think they're great for families. They offer a lot of amenities, a lot of activities. There's a lot of stuff going on with them. I think they're a little on the pricey side when you compare them with like a Royal or a Carnival or even a Celebrity at some points. And I don't know.
And that's just the main brand, let alone the other brands, which are more specialty.
I don't know if the free at sea is that.
We're not saying there's not a value in NCL. There is, but NCL clearly must have done some research on what people were using and what it cost them for them to make this decision.
And you can see other cruise lines now are also trying to offer bundles. Like, they're definitely taking a look at what Norwegian has done for years with the free at sea. It's not free on other cruise lines, but they are bundling drinks and gratuities and specialty dining and trying to offer you a one-stop shop. It's one price for all of that stuff.
All right, hold on. Bring it in. Bring it in. Cruise industry secret. It's not actually free. You're paying for it in your price.
I mean, you are.
The difference is, was it free today, but it wasn't free last week, and you're getting a sale, a promo, a deal, something else, something to help make you, at dinner say, honey, do you want to go on a cruise for $199? And keep a straight face while you say it.
The last thing with More at Sea, the free excursions, it's the same, $50 per stateroom per port. So that didn't go up any, that's not changing any. It's not really a value add. Do you think this is a better program than free at sea? What are our feelings when you compare the two?
I mean, first off, anyone that is a drinker is going to be able to very easily just dissect the drinks package change and see if that covers them or not.
Yeah.
But here's, I guess, the short answer. The old program is gone. If you are already booked as of October 1st on a cruise on NCL, you're on the old package unless you want to change it.
Unless your cruise is after January.
Yes. So
if you're already booked but your cruise doesn't sail until after January 1st, you will automatically be moved to the More at Sea package.
Yeah, there's no deciding to pay for the upgrade. This is the new package.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So you're not losing anything. The question is, what are you gaining? And the first thing is, what do you actually use?
Yeah.
There are people who go out drinking on like Carnival who try and hit that 15 drink limit, but we never hear of them hitting it 2 or 3 days in a row. We hear about them hitting it once and then hitting the wall. But if you're
crazy to me, it is. I am not a drinker. I will have a cocktail now and again. I might even have a great big cocktail now and again. I cannot imagine 15 cocktails a day.
Okay, we're not beer drinkers, ever. Well, except for some Leinenkugel Summer Shandy and then Cranberry Vice and then the Cranberry Bog stuff. So
I don't drink any of that.
Never beer. We never drink beer except for those 3 occasions.
And I never drink those.
And then of course on my father's birthday when we throw beer in the ocean. But that's a whole different thing. So except for those 4 times, we don't drink beer. But we have had people come in on videos and taste test beers to talk about them, compare them. And on cruise packages, we have one. We did it with Bridget. I talked to her about sending her the script for her to record it and go down what's a beer value, because we can't tell you that. So look for that soon, because she's agreed reluctantly to do it. She's been browbeat into it. But if she says in chat she has no idea about this, she does now. So don't believe her. But like that, we can't compare that. But like in terms of mixed drinks, I drink a Long Island iced tea. We drink painkillers. Anna drinks not mimosas. Cosmos. And then the wine that you drink is
usually a Moscato.
A Moscato, something on the sweet end, of that level of. So we can tell you for those drinks. But if you're someone who orders, I want a Long Island iced tea and it better be this brand of this and this brand of that, you're going to know whether it's on your list or not and to tell if it's a value. So I think the person who just says, I'll take a beer, might have a harder time coming up with the math, but somebody who says, I want, this and that, they can calculate it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think the big change here is probably the better beverage package, but also you're kind of shoved into the better beverage package because it's the only option now. You don't have an option to do the basic
cash package.
package.
I mean, the cash, that's...
I mean, yeah, but if you're a drinker, but you're a Budweiser drinker, that would have been on the basic package, and it turned out, your whole cruise was a little bit cheaper because you were only drinking Budweiser on the basic package. Now you're on the same package with the people that are drinking, Guinness and Heineken and I don't know, what are fancy beers? I don't even know.
Yeah, Leinenkugel Summer Shandy.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's a better program.
The free third and fourth guests and the free second person airfare.
Yeah, so Free at Sea sometimes offered free airfare. More at Sea will also continue to offer free airfare. I want to give you the biggest caveat about this because when you book your airfare through your cruise line, you don't always get to pick your flights. You don't get to mix and match your flights. You don't get to necessarily book a direct flight. You're kind of at their mercy, and you
have to preface this with the time travel machine of, years ago sitting there in the office where you were printing out tickets for flights.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. This may not be your best bet for a flight. So,
no, I was saying agencies made money. That all went away. So like the whole...
I mean, but it's not relevant to the fact that they're telling you you're getting a free airline ticket, but it might not be the flight that you want, the airline you want. It might not be your best flight option.
But it will get you there.
Before you commit to that free second person, and it's also limited by airports and, I just caution you with that. Does it sound like an enticing deal on the surface? It absolutely does. I encourage you to look at it and just make sure it's the right thing for you.
So if somebody calls you and wants to book a cruise, are you going to book their own airfare through the cruise line with them?
We don't book airfare. We generally don't book airfare.
Yeah.
We're a travel agent. I don't know if you're new here. Waves and Wandering, we can book everything. We don't generally book airfare.
It's just easier for you to book it. You're getting all the notifications. You pick the...
Well, it's not even that it's easier for you to book it. I can recommend flights for you, but the bottom line is you have to be comfortable with the flight. And anymore now, like it's not just you're in first class or you're in the main cabin. It's you're in first class, you're in the main cabin in the front, you're in basic economy, you're in regular economy, you're in premium economy, you're in a row that doesn't have a person sitting in the seat next to you. Like there are just so many moving parts now. It's just better for people to choose their own.
So I had to book flights to Sydney this week, and ironically, as I was typing it in, Google gave me an ad for an outfit selling business class airfare flights to Sydney for $1,000 starting, and I was like, heck yeah, let's check these people out. Come to find out, not a lot of good customer service. Do I want to risk missing out on a problem on a flight going to Sydney because I could save a couple? No, I don't. It's just,
yeah, and that's kind of where you
have to make those decisions.
That's kind of where you are with this, free airfare through Norwegian. You will get one person free, but the person that you're paying for might be way more than you would have paid if you had just looked for the flights yourself.
But that goes back, though, to a trend within the entire cruise industry, and really could just be summed up in the word all-inclusive.
Yeah.
Because the luxury cruise ships, that's one of their marketing points, is, you're buying a cruise, you're buying the flight each way, you're taking an Uber, or you're having your cousin drop you off at the airport, and then somebody's got to pick you up at the other end. You're spending all this money anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we have had this conversation driving home from a cruise terminal with, where the conversation starts with, where'd all our money go? And me going, but the cruise was $199. How did we spend all this money? And us sitting there going, well, I mean, somebody had to eat. We had to sleep in a hotel. But you don't think about those things. And the all-inclusive luxury line, gets you there. So is this a baby step to get you to jump over to, one of their luxury brands? Because now if you're buying this...
I don't think it's a baby step. I actually think this is going to appeal to somebody who is watching where their vacation dollar is going, and they see the free, oh, if I book through Norwegian, they're going to give me a free airline ticket. They might, but you might fly Frontier for $100 round trip from Philly to Miami. They're going to book you on a $400 flight. Which one of you is going to have to pay for in order for the other one to get the free flight. So you could be spending triple what you would have spent if you had just booked it yourself by booking their free airfare. That's all I'm saying. You really have to do your homework. Check out airfare. Check out what you were willing to pay in the first place and see if it's worth the money that, you're going to spend with Norwegian.
Well, here's the other way that it'll come to play, and we've done this ourselves. I'm flying, before I retired, I was flying constantly for work, racking up miles. We use those miles to take the family on trips. You have to book those yourself.
If you have, you're in a airline loyalty program, Norwegian is not guaranteeing that you will be on your American Airlines flight or your Southwest flight or, wherever. You're going to be kind of at their mercy. So just be careful. That's all I'm saying. When they offer the free airfare for your second person, just be careful. That's all.
We booked 3 cruises today that had bundles for hotels involved in them. None of them were hotel brands that we ever stay at.
Yeah.
So, how do you recommend them? Well, they're good brands, but everybody's heard of them. Just, it's not the place that we stayed at.
Yeah.
So, for people who are loyal to NCL, they're getting more stuff.
Yeah. You're going very far afield here, but
far afield. We're
what
live. We're live.
I know we're live.
We're live.
That's why you got to be ringed in.
So at this point, we were supposed to have a guest caller. Margaret, if you're listening, we're waiting for you. Margaret's going to talk about how she can go to the airport and buy tickets and save money.
We're gonna do that video with Margaret when she is available. But we just got back from Alaska.
Are we doing a trip report now?
We're not gonna do a trip report, but
here's a question I want to ask you. You go to Alaska and you see humpback whale, 1 or 2. How many humpback whales do you see that you go, book me again? What is that number?
That number for me is 1. I'm perfectly content with 1, and I want to go back and have a chance to see more. We did a whale watching excursion where literally 2 weeks ago, if you didn't see a whale, you were going to get money back. The expectation of seeing a whale on this whale watching tour was so low that there was no money back guarantee.
Yeah.
The other thing
almost like whale watch at your own risk.
Yeah. The other thing we learned from the captain was at this time of year, we went in September, at this time of year, the expectation for a humpback whale, 0 to 3 at the most. We saw about 20 on just this one tour.
This is, the estimate was 20 to 25, but 20 of them, from all the pictures and the binoculars and everybody out looking, got named. From looking them up in the books and matching, flukes and fin patterns and all that stuff, and knowing who migrates every year through there, they were naming them out of the book.
Yeah. And you know what? He says that. We don't know. We weren't on it a week before or a week after. They could have just been pulling names out of a hat. I don't know.
Oh, no, we actually do know, because when you pulled up the whale watching app, and when we were there in May, the whale watching app, when you pulled it up, I was sitting there and leaning over to Anna. It's like, we're going to be making a turn to starboard up here, because the app was telling you where dozens and dozens were seen over the last few days. Now, the captain obviously made it entertaining, oh, friends of ours told us there was a sighting up here. Let's go this way. And it's like they followed the path.
Not only did we see tons of humpback whales, we saw orcas. It's the first time I've ever seen an orca in the wild. We saw sea otter, we saw sea lions, we saw eagles, we saw a lot of stuff. And the one thing I will tell you about Alaska
I would say we saw more stuff here than we did on being there in June, July.
Yeah, I would tell you though that the one thing about an Alaska cruise, if you go to, your weekend Bahamas cruise, you're going to see the same Nassau, the same Coco Key, the same beach, the same vendors, the same everything. Alaska, on any of our trips, it's never the same. You might see a moose, you might see a bear, you might see the Dall sheep, you might see the eagles, the whales, the sea lions. You might see more glacier or less glacier. The trip is different every single time that you go, and it really does make you want to go back. We are planning group cruises, which we'll have more information for you very, very soon. But we're going to be doing 4 group cruises to Alaska in 2026 on the brand new, not even out yet. It doesn't even set sail until late next year, but it will be the brand new Star Princess Cruise Lines. I don't know if you're familiar with cruising in Alaska. They were the first. They get so many good contracts. They have a lot of advantage when it comes to an Alaska cruise, and we will be cruising with Princess. We have 4 different group cruises. We're going to have a ton of information for you coming very soon, so pay attention, hit the subscribe button, do all the things you're supposed to do to be notified, because we're going to be doing that.
So here's the short thing, though. These are July and August 2026 cruises. A couple staterooms got booked right before this. We had to find around the ship.
Again, the demand for cruising is skyrocketing. And even the Alaska 2026 season
which just went on for sale at the 1st of September.
They are selling
just a few weeks
out. Stateroom categories are selling out. They're closed. They are waitlisted. You want to book your Alaska cruise pretty soon.
We called Princess
for 2026. That's not next season. That's 2 seasons.
We called Princess to ask, and literally had a rep on the phone go, "Duh." It's
this is a man that
for...
thinks, you can go on a cross-country trip in, 20 minutes. Go pack. Can we go?
We've done it.
Can we be in Ohio by, breakfast?
Long-term planning is not my thing. It is, if something happens, because when we were working, there was always something that changed. You had to be flexible. Suddenly you have an extra 2 or 3 days off. How long have we been going?
Long.
No, how long?
42 minutes.
It's not even 2 hours yet.
Wrap it up, dude.
But all of that time, there's always been something you could do.
Yeah.
But if you want to go to Alaska, you're going to have to put your foot down.
Now's the time to talk to your favorite travel agent, Anna at Waves and Wandering. I'm very happy to help you.
Now, you don't have to pay for the whole thing on the first day.
No. There will be a payment option so that you can make monthly payments. And again, it's 2 years of monthly payments. You can go to Alaska. You will be able to afford this trip. We'll throw in some extras for your cruise to make it even more special. It's going to be amazing.
The group that we're doing and the rates is not only Alaska and the cruise, but it's a chance to hang out with Anna. It's a chance to not hang out with Jim. We're including the alcohol, the gratuities, the Wi-Fi, and we have a...
it's as close to an all-inclusive as you can get. Yeah. It's going to be great.
But one that we're doing.
It's going to be awesome. And I want to just share this with you because I'm so excited. This is sort of like cruise news, but we booked our very first vow renewal on a cruise ship today. So excited to do that. It is on Princess Cruises. It is on one of our Alaska group cruises, so we're super, super excited about that. I cannot imagine a more beautiful backdrop than Alaska to either get married or renew your vows. So this is so exciting. Super planning mode for this. These are definitely options, and if you have ever been in a position to plan a wedding and pulled your hair out from the stress of it all, a cruise line wedding is the most stress-free way to do it. It's one price. They include your flowers, your music, photography, a cake, the venue, somebody to marry you.
We have been involved in this prior to the 2020 cooties outbreak. The difference between the other cruise lines that we were dealing with then and Princess today is shocking. Like just the time slot, scheduling, knowing what is and isn't available even that far out, and simple things like, is the captain going to show up?
And again, speaking of scheduling, like we have personally, before we owned our travel agent, we personally booked a vow renewal on a Disney cruise ship that ultimately had to be canceled because of COVID. But that was like different venues, different times, which venue was sold out already or booked already, which venue held less people or more people.
How many people do you have? And if you go to that one, you can't have Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, there were a lot of moving pieces. Prince has made it so super easy. One flat fee. It includes everybody that will be there. Includes everything. They give you the time. It's going to be 11 o'clock. It has to be done on a sea day, which is perfect because you're not going to miss any of the Alaska ports.
Ceremony, the cake, the room, the space for it, the photography package.
Yeah.
I mean, when we called to get this to get this set up for somebody, I asked, "Where's the a la carte menu?" And they were like, "Nope, here you go."
Yeah, they pretty much include everything, and it's just fantastic. It's super easy, no stress. They have a wedding planner that will work with you while you're getting ready for your wedding, somebody that will meet you once you're on board the ship. Everything is taken care of.
I like how she throws that, thinking that's going to make me stop talking. Like, be quiet, you.
We're done now. The script is done. We're over. So that's what's going on with us this week.
Oh, we didn't do your trip report of the cruise.
What trip?
They want to know how awesome that balcony stateroom was on what ship were you on?
Oh my gosh, Quantum of the Seas. My husband, who booked a last minute, like literally last minute, the last stateroom on board any cruise ship going to Alaska. He booked it. It was an inside virtual balcony stateroom.
So it was a balcony stateroom.
Pros and cons to this. It was nice to have, I mean, if you're stuck in an inside, I'm going to just say this. If you're going to Alaska, splurge on a balcony. I know you're going to say you're not in your room that often, but when you're on your free internet or, whatever internet, and you see in your Facebook group for your cruise that somebody sees an orca on the starboard side, and you're on the starboard side, but you don't have a way to get out there, there is no way you're getting up on the deck and out to the starboard side by the time this orca is there. The orca is gone. You have just missed it. Not going to happen. I highly recommend a balcony on an Alaska cruise. But
not to steal a tagline from the comedian on our first night, but he literally described that as, "Welcome to Alaska. It's the you just missed it place." Because you're going to hear that all the time. You just missed it.
Yeah, these animals are not there on display. They're not trained. They come and go as they please. So you've got to see it when they're there. Another thing, which again, in the summertime in Alaska is hard, but the Northern Lights. If you're going to go in September, you have a shot at seeing the Northern Lights. Summertime, it's too bright for too many hours.
Alaska has a calendar of all the things you're going to go to Alaska to see, and you can grid it out and see when it's most likely. Not guaranteed, but most likely.
Yeah, but in the summertime, it's like 20 hours of daylight. You're not going to see the Northern Lights in the summertime. But back to what we were talking about.
So
the inside virtual balcony.
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing is you don't get to see everything. It's a little bit grainy. You do get a real-time image of what's outside, but it's basically like watching it on closed-circuit TV. You're not getting the vibrant colors. You're not really getting the feel of it. You're not getting the wind in your face. And here's the other thing that I will tell you about an inside stateroom. I will never, ever have an inside stateroom with my husband again. There are things, odors, that come out of his body, especially when he has ordered a second dessert.
Which he never does.
That are so unpleasant that if you do not have a balcony and a door to find respite for yourself, you are inhaling noxious gas the entire 7-night cruise. So, did I like the virtual balcony? It was not without its appeal. Would I do it again? I would not do it again.
So,
and you can thank him for that.
Separate from the made-up story that she just said here, because that would never happen. The inside stateroom on Quantum of the Seas.
The stateroom was lovely.
But here's a big difference, and this is common across most of the major commercial or entry-level cruise lines. You lose a couch on an inside stateroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you notice that for things when you just want to sit down together.
Yeah. Quantum, I will say there were 2 chairs in the stateroom. One of them is like the desk chair, which was kind of odd. It didn't have a back. It had a very low back, so it wasn't comfortable. It was fine if you were doing your makeup, because you're leaning up to the mirror and everything. But there really was only one place to sit other than the bed, and it's nice to have a sofa. Especially if you're traveling with friends, somebody wants to stop by.
Well,
on
and
their
that's
way to dinner or
and that's a
whatever.
big difference between with the balcony versus the inside. Your seating space suddenly goes from that one chair and the desk chair to now add the couch, add the chairs outside. You've got somewhere to sort of
Yeah,
like
you've
not
got
be.
options. You have options.
What a shower and bathroom are the same.
Yeah. No, the stateroom was lovely.
TV though. This is definitely not to ding the ship, but this is definitely a.
Well, the first thing about the TV is so your bed is this way and your TV is on this wall.
Oh yeah, this is a whole separate one.
And it doesn't pull out and turn. So if you're in bed with your head up here, you can't watch TV. You also can't change the channel. You've got to like sit up and lean over and click the remote because you can't change it.
You will see this in cabin reviews is a very common thing, and even in hotel room reviews. How much does the TV move so that I can be in different places in the room?
Not at all.
This is the only way it got removed was every other day when somebody came up to yank it off the wall so that they could try and reset it or reprogram it, because we had a TV that when we would leave it on and mute it just because we learned this, but then housekeeping would come in and shut it.
Once our TV was turned off, it did not come back on without maintenance being called. So our problem there was if you're a light sleeper, I sleep with the TV on anyway, but if you're the kind of person that likes it completely dark in the room, you weren't going to be happy in this room.
Unless you turn it off, but then you don't have it later. And then the other one that we learned, which apparently is an inside virtual stateroom urban myth on Quantum, that screen can't be changed. We went into this with a description that said, you're going to have a remote for the virtual balcony, and you can select the forward, the port, starboard, and aft cameras to get different views of the ship as you travel.
We had a remote.
It had a remote.
It didn't do anything, and everybody that
it didn't
we
even
asked,
turn it off.
Yeah, everybody that we asked, and we asked a lot of people because again, we were calling maintenance every day to fix the TV. And I know there are a lot of you that are like, why are you watching the TV? Because you're in Alaska and, whatever. But you know what? When you're getting dressed in the morning, I like to watch the news. And, we're gearing up for the presidential campaign and all that. I just like to watch the news in the morning. And again, I like to have the TV humming, when I'm going to sleep at night. So.
And if we had a balcony, we would have had the curtains open, looking out the window onto Alaska. So
yeah.
It was.
But, we were under the impression that we would be able to use this remote to make changes in our virtual balcony scene, but all of the maintenance people said that no, we couldn't.
I mean, it had a volume button, but there was no volume. It had a channel button, but there was no channels to change. And it had an on-off button, but that didn't work.
On this happy note.
So would you recommend the inside stateroom for someone?
I would say if you are on a budget and you just cannot do a balcony in Alaska,
they're all sold out already.
The virtual balcony did give you the view of the ocean, whatever you were sailing past, the towns that you went in, same as if you had a balcony. You just didn't get like the sensation. So yeah, I would recommend it if you're not traveling with Mr. Stinky Pants.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know you don't.
I guess, but we've gone from, and this is the reason that I did this. It was to force you to be everywhere from inside all the way up to a suite.
Done it all.
Yeah,
done it all.
And the answer is,
and I'm not stuck up. Like I don't have to stay at the Ritz-Carlton. We stay at the Fairfield Inn or the Courtyard. It's not like I have to have a deluxe suite or anything. There are just some things on a cruise that I'm more comfortable with. I'm more comfortable with a balcony because I like the fresh air. I like to go outside. I live with. Did you just poop yourself over here?
What the hell are you talking about?
I like to go outside.
Why are you making this stuff up for these people?
I also get up really early in the morning, and sometimes I can't sleep at night. So instead of turning lights on and reading my book in bed,
Every married man
outside.
watching this knows that I can say nothing back. So I don't know why you're.
No, he cannot.
Why you're shooting down here?
No, he cannot. But no, there was nothing wrong with this inside, and the virtual balcony made it that much better as an inside cabin.
Someone watches this and they call you and say, Anna, I want to book Alaska. Which cabin do you recommend?
Always a balcony. If you can't do a balcony, I think I might recommend the virtual balcony, the inside virtual balcony over an ocean view, because you're getting the view.
Yeah, you're getting a floor-to-ceiling picture of the front
view.
And again, you're going to be going outside anyway. It's that argument of how much time do you spend.
Yeah.
Some there.
No, you're
No.
just talking.
Well, the more we talk, the more people will watch.
No, the more people will fall asleep. We are going to wrap it up for today. So I just want to remind you.
You've said that before.
And then you keep talking. Don't forget to subscribe. If you need help planning a trip, Anna@WavesandWandering.com, or just leave a message in the comments. I am so happy to help you. Even if you don't ultimately book a trip with us, we want to be able to help you have a wonderful vacation, and we're happy to give you any information. Ask any question that you have. We're very happy to answer it. If you hit the button, boop the bell, whatever, you'll get notified right away when we post something new. We're going to try and do these lives once a week.
Provided we're home.
Provided we're home, provided,
I like them because I have to do no video editing on this, which is hard enough for me to do as it is.
But you're not getting to see the beautiful Alaska pictures or the beautiful bride that I'm doing the vow renewal for. You're not getting to see any of that.
She didn't even chime into the chat to say that she's doing it. So
no, because she's got a bunch of little kids over there.
She's got planning to do.
A bunch of little kids. Thank you so much once again for joining us. We will see you real soon.
You forgot to mention the email list.
Oh, yeah. We have an email. We're going to put it in the description. Not an email.
It is in the description.
It's a
newsletter.
newsletter. It is in the description. If you want to subscribe to our newsletter, hit the link. Go ahead and subscribe. You'll get all of our best travel tips, our best travel deals, all sorts of information and advice, all the stuff that we didn't get to here because he just talks and talks and talks. Now we'll see you real soon.